Yeah. All right. What about this table? This looks like a John Wick collection. Is this all of them? This is most of them. A handful of them.
It's probably 2/3 of them.
Shotgun. Which one's this from?
This is like the John Wick 2 stuff. So this is a Benelli M2. This is kind of a hybrid because the M4 is what he had in John Wick 2. This is what he had in John Wick 3, but it was a longer barrel. So it's, you know, whatever. It's a range gun, kind of a hybrid.
What's the story? How did you end up? Taran Tactical Innovations. Those guns showed up in John Wick 2 or 3. When did they?
In 2, 3, 4.
And how did? Obviously, he chose the wrong guns in John Wick 1. What was the story? How did you get involved? And you know, did the director say, "Make me some guns," or the suggestion was, "Hey, this guy is like the greatest"?
I mean, the director is super open-minded, and he's not stubborn, and he's not dogmatic, and he, like he pushed me as a trainer beyond anything I ever expected, because he's a trainer. If you know his story really quick, he was a stuntman for Keanu, picked out of hundreds of guys for his martial arts background.
I didn't know that.
For the Matrix, the very first Matrix. And they picked him because he did some insane kick in some old VHS tape, whatever. Holy shit, this guy's the guy. He looks enough like Keanu, a little more chiseled faced or whatever. And now you could go back and watch it, you can totally see Chad, you know. So, long story short, he's doing the movie and the scene with the rail car and Agent Smith jumps on and it pulls it up and it breaks to this thing. Well, the cable line broke, the stuntman landed on Chad on the cable cars, broke like something 80 bones, and Chad and I, he's telling me a story, we're driving to matches. We shot matches together for years. He's really good. So I'd love to hear these stories, just me and him driving all this stuff. He got messed up, so the Wachowski brothers, which they're not brothers anymore now, they're the Wachowski sisters, whatever, thought that was so honorable of him to survive that and everything. They brought him back as a second unit director instead of just a stuntman. That's like the next progression. So now he's only one of a handful of people that have ever made it to being an actual movie director. You go back to Hal Nina was like the first one. It's cool, a couple other guys don't really know who they are, but it's him, and then it was David Leitch. So they made John Wick 1 together. Keanu had the script from Derek Kolchak, whatever, and he's like, let's do this, I trust in you guys, because Chad and David Leitch, who was Brad Pitt's stuntman, they just did Bullet Train together. So these guys now are directors working with the guys they stuntman for, and these guys are so nice to them, and they have such a great history together, they do their movie with them. So, long story short, they both made John Wick 1. It launched their careers. So David Leitch went on to Blonde, or what is it, Atomic Blonde. Then he went on to Hobbs and Shaw. Went on to Deadpool 2. And Chad's been refining and doing all the John Wicks. It's probably gonna do something pretty badass after this. But that's kind of what they've done. But they have 2 fight studios. There's the original 8711. That's where it all is. You go on the wall. There's a million movies they've done, like Sucker Punch and 300 and they're the guys, before they became directors, a lot of big Marvel movies are being made, and they're like, so they'll get this like, God, this director sucks, his action is shit, like, let's bring in some adrenaline. And they come in, they reshoot a bunch of stuff with great stunt people. They're the best stunt people in the world, Company 711, the best. He just demands the best of people, and that's what he brought to me. And J.J. Perry is now a director. He just did Day Shift, and he came out with Chad, and they wanted me to shoot with an apple somehow, and I did this crazy apple hip shooting
like
video.
An audition.
Yeah, and when they did that, they're like, this is the guy. Maybe he's not in great shape like our guys, but this freaking moron could shoot. So.
One second.
All right.
Battery swap.
That's okay. Let me get a drink of water super quick. I talk too much. It's gonna be a 5-hour episode.
Awesome. We got plenty of stuff to cut, and it's all interesting. So it's good for more than
yeah.
JJ one of the top directors now?
Yeah, JJ just broke through.
I have a question, but I want to leave it for.
All right. Yeah. Otherwise, it'll
I'm a big movie buff too, so I think this is fascinating. Okay, so if I'm understanding this, basically, and I seem to remember this because I'm a movie buff too. Somewhere in the 2000s, these guys that have been involved in stunts, they're like, hey, instead of doing this cheesy like 6-shooter that shoots 13 rounds, and the actors don't necessarily know how to do anything, and the stunts are kind of cheesy, kind of the 70s, 80s movies. Let's actually bring some real choreographed action and adrenaline and, actors that can actually shoot. And they auditioned, got your video of you, eating an apple and shooting from the hip, and said, this is our guy.
Well, I think
to make the movies.
I think what Chad did and what JJ does and David is that you could do so much monkey dust with an action fight scene. Okay, so you look at like the Bourne Supremacy, Bourne Legacy, Bourne whatever.
Sure.
He's sitting on a bench, this guy's talking, all of a sudden he's 50 frames, he's hitting the guy in the face. It's super speeded up, it's just super fake.
Yeah,
I mean, back then we're like, oh my god, that was so fast. You look back now, this is awful. And then why John Wick was such a groundbreaking movie, only cost $22 million. They never thought they'd do another movie ever again. And Keanu gave them a shot, knowing that what Hollywood now really wants is all these directors like Sam Hargrave, all these guys are coming along, because there's no break between the director and the second unit. The second unit are guys over here filming all this action, fast cars crashing, nothing to do with the acting over here. And then they blend it. The movie's always going to be made that way. But the stunt guys now are making these action movies where it's just a smooth, linear kind of thing with the movie, and they know the action. There's no fighting with the director about, well, I don't want the shot that way. Oh, and I know every stunt guy on the planet. I know the stories they go through, the hell they go through, reshoots, and so I'm trying to listen, and they go, oh, we did it all wrong. Well, you're right. Let's do it again now. No, it's $10 million of trash can.
Yeah, but his judo look, Keanu in John Wick, like the judo and the jiu-jitsu, it all looks so, organic and natural to all the scenes. It didn't look like that, what you're talking about.
Well, Chad has said in many interviews, it's super cool. He goes to just make the actor better, and the scene is just going to be better. Just make him good, and then it's just going to be good, versus trying to like shaky cam and stunt guys doing everything. 'Cause you're always going to spot the stunt guy. You're always going to spot them. They're just shaped different. Their heads are different. You CG their face, but you can tell it's CG. But in the end, I think they were like groundbreaking in what they did in a kind of a version of like when Pulp Fiction came along and Hollywood was just like blown away, and everybody's just copying it. You had all these movies with Madonna's husband making all these smoking barrels and 2 Days in the Valley and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's still not a Tarantino movie. It's just not. He's got the recipe. And it's the same thing's happening here. All these wannabe John Wick movies, they're all fun. They're all cool. It's the same like retired guy comes out of nowhere, and it's just horrible shooting 1,000 rounds, CG trash, reload the cut, the gun's automatically reloaded. It's not. These guys want the best. They pushed me so hard with every movie. Like I picked the best guns I could have for John Wick 2. And
so you put real thought into the gun design, right? Now, not just as a competitive shooter, but how it will match the actor's role, like his character in that movie as well.
Yeah, I wanted him the best guns for what I could think of at the time. So he had an AR, lightweight, 14.5-inch gun. At the time, it was pretty state-of-the-art with a side dot, farther range, optic on top. He's doing reloads everywhere. He's got bolted mags together. He's shredding all these fools in the freaking catacombs of Rome. He's got a Benelli. He's doing the original kind of loading we did back then. Then I had a bunch of trolls on Instagram, or back then Facebook, why don't you have him quad loading? And back then quad loading had just started in 3-gun. Quad loading in these big caddy things, you snatch them out. Okay, even to this day, no one would use that in real life, but when John Wick 3 came along, I'm like, let's just do it. The caddies are way better back then. They would have been falling off every scene. It would have been a freaking salt shaker mess. And I would have been calls from Rome, you idiot, all this money is just falling everywhere. So for the next movie, everyone went nuts when they saw him quad loading and doing all this while, even people don't know what he's doing, like, what is he doing? And the director sees that, like the match saber load with this thing. And all these things happening in the movie, like, what is he doing? They watch it over and over and over again,
It was so
kind of like Phoebe Cates in freaking, that one movie. Just rewind the scene 100 times. So, and then the next one, I got to go next level. That's why these guns over here are the next level of this.
This is John Wick 2. Anything from John Wick 3?
John Wick 2. John Wick 3, we have over here our 2011s. So this is the Combat Master. It's just an awesome gun, flat shooting, soft. It's just completely tricked out, crazy trigger, holds a crap ton of rounds.
How involved were you in the scene where he goes into the room and there's the guy says you can get this, or for this year we have this 2011 con. How involved were you, or did they ask you for your input, or in the tech, the description of the guns?
Well, I do all the descriptions of the gun scenes to make sure there's no messed ups. Like if you look at Die Hard 2, it's like, yeah, it's a porcelain gun from Germany. It's worth more than your whole paycheck. No, it's not. It's from Austria, and it's polymer, you dumbass. So, and Chad knew everything already, but I just wanted to confirm it, so I just would write it out, and they would just do it and cut some of I'd be a little long in the tooth sometimes. And they add better stuff to it, make it better. And I would do all that stuff and help them with that, which is super nice that they would let me do that. It's super cool.
It's cool that they want to be authentic. I think, it's so silly that my wife always says to me, that's the thing you have a problem with, but we'll watch this movie where aliens come to Earth and they attack, and this special forces guy's like shooting, killing all these aliens, but he like reloads wrong. Yeah. My wife's like, that's what you have a problem with that. But it's true, you're military law enforcement guys. And I remember the first Keanu movie, seeing him and John Wick manipulate the gun like a pro was really impressive and kind of raised my appreciation for everybody involved in the movie. And I know that gun enthusiasts like myself feel the same way. So we're excited about John Wick 4.
Yeah, and they put the work in. Also, I want to add something different in that movie. From Sharon, he gets the 9mm major. So I was watching it and put on subtitles to make sure it was actually exactly 125 green bullet at 1425 feet per second, major shit, you know. So it was kind of cool. It was a hotter 9mm, not just the same old. You see him loading the mags right with ball ammo. Like ball ammo, you got CG squib bullet holes like that. Okay, all right. So that was super cool. He also had a Benelli M2, sort of like this one, 21-inch. You know, holds 9 to 10 rounds. So.
John Wick 4. We've got one.
Oh, he had the MPX and John Wick 3 also sitting right in our face.
This one right here.
Yeah.
Now, John Wick 4, there's a handgun that's already been announced. It is very sexy, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you a funny story. I get like once in a blue moon when you post about the gun, like, why did he pick a 9mm?
I do see that comment occasionally. Yeah. I would love to hear.
It's like, okay, well, we originally had a 308 set for the movie, right? But the director wanted him to have to come back and I need more firepower. Winston, he's like, oh, they're dumb, you know. So we just figured he would have an even playing field. They all had 9mm MP5s coming after him. He picked a 9, same ammo as gun, whatever. Ideally a 223 armored piercing, whatever. I don't know, but I'm not going to complain. People love the gun.
My wife would say to that person, so this is the thing you have a problem with?
Yeah.
Not the assassin who kills 150 people in New York because his dog was, killed? Yeah, that's funny. So, still a beautiful gun.
Yeah. So, what was the question you had?
John Wick 4. You got a handgun.
The John Wick 3 pistol. I forgot about this one. No, John Wick 2.
No, stay focused. Stay focused. John Wick 4.
Oh, yeah,
they're all awesome.
Glock 34 and John Wick 2. And he shoots a lot of guys. He does reloads and Mac checks all the time. There it is.
Let me see the John Wick 4 gun. Come on, I gotta see it.
Oh, is this it? That ain't it.
That's not it.
Is that it?
No, I don't think that's it.
Maybe it's over here. Over here. Gotta open the box like in Pulp Fiction. The lights will come out.
This box is pretty awesome.
Lights come out on us.
No.
Is that it?
That's not it.
Oh, all right. That's it. All right. Well, the cameras are that way, so.
Oh, 1 second. Can I? You're in the background, and you're in the background. Right. Can you come from this side? And you know what? Let's do the Pulp Fiction. Open the box.
Oh, the light in it?
Yeah. Don't close it all the way.
That's great. That is great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Ready?
Yeah. Can you squeeze it? Because it's foam.
Okay.
And
This might be it.
This might be it.
There it is.
Oh man, look at this. Look at that. Pit Viper. Are we going to find out how you came up with that name? Is there anything you need
When
to
you watch the movie.
When we watch the movie, we'll find out? All right, there's a teaser for you.
Yeah.
All right, so, Pit Viper, John Wick 4. How hard is this gun to get? Let me be honest.
We'll get him a lot faster than other guys get people 1911s and 2011s, so we're getting him as fast as we can, but we will not skip on quality. It has to be perfect.
I heard from Matt that there's a 600-person waiting list right now for 400 guns.
Oh, already? Okay.
That's what he told me today.
All right. Okay.
So I imagine this is going to be pretty hard to get.
Yeah. Try the trigger on it. Aim over here at.
Aim over here. Who am I aiming at? I'm going to aim at the 4 versions of Keanu from 4 fantastic movies.
4 best movies.
Yeah. Which one of those? If you had to remove one of those movies from the 4, that's the one I'd aim at. Man, I don't think I could do it. You got Speed.
They're all great.
You got Point Break. The Matrix.
The first Matrix is fantastic.
And John Wick. Man, that is. Now listen, am I gonna be able to shoot like you?
Yeah.
Somehow I don't believe so. We're gonna have to find out.
So I'll tell you a little bit about the gun.
Please do. What makes it special?
Well, I shot Glocks for a long time. I was the first guy to ever get a Grand Master card with a Glock in the USPSA. Whatever, got it in a year.
Just gloss right over that statistic.
Yeah. So, but then eventually you got to go to 2011. It blows everything out of the water. And over the years, I would take mine. I was sponsored by Infinity. I'd blend the beaver tails all nice, get rid of this stupid memory groove. But this one actually still activates, which was a very hard thing for us to figure out how to do that without having the giant bump there.
So you're saying you took a gun that everybody else is pretty much using because it's the best, and you found ways, or necessary for yourself to make it feel better.
Better trigger everything. So we put Extreme Engineering hammers and sears and disconnectors in the gun.
What do you mean Extreme Engineering?
It's a company called Extreme Engineering. They have these light speed hammers. I used them for my entire career, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give people exactly what I was shooting. because I won everything on the planet with it for 10 years straight or whatever. So we did that. Also the front sight. Nobody made a fiber optic front sight that I liked. It was a big fat chunkarama with a fiber optic red or green dot in the middle of the blade and a big blade above it. Everybody's like, so am I aiming with the blade and the dot? I hate this thing. Get a dot sight. So I have the fiber optic at the very top with a little bit of metal holding it together.
I do see that, yeah. There's
And
almost
it
no
takes the
space.
guesswork out of it, and it's a little thinner, so more precise for other shots you can make with the gun. And it's just the best quality parts we could have. I'm not going to let a gun go out that's just...
It's an island, right? Island sight there. Yeah.
Well, they call it island, they call it sight tracker, I call it the static front sight. Anyway, but you want to try it out?
I would love to try it out.
There's other John Wick 4 guns over here we don't get to see.
Wait. There's other John Wick 4. Are we not going to reveal them?
I said nothing.
All right. I guess I'm going to have to come back for those. All right, let's go to the range and shoot that pit viper and see what it's like.
All right, let's do it.